Golden One Mike Orange and Mr. 2020 Jamie Tucker with Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. Are you there, Jamie?
Oh, I'm here and in live and in living color. Only thing is, you can't see me, everyone. You can just hear me.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
Well, I don't think so. I think so. I got the handsome, boyish looks of my younger years still.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I'm not your type.
yeah, yeah, me too, buddy.
At least we agree on that, right?
Yeah, since you moved to that foreign country down south and everything, I think we agreed on a lot more stuff than we have.
Well, being that I moved to land far, far away, in the great land of Florida, I guess, being that Mike says it's not part of the United States.
Some people will call it like Eastern Mexico, but it is what it is, you know.
It's definitely part of the United States, and it's nice being back. Virginia was great too. And I lived in North Carolina a lot of my life. Different areas, Tennessee as well, but you find the good in a lot of places. Florida is all tropical and the palm trees and warm all year round. And then when you get to the mountains of Virginia, you get the beautiful mountains in the fall with the foliage and all that good stuff. And Charlotte, I don't know, they probably ain't got nothing going on any good no more. But I grew up in that area and as well as Roanoke, and my love for pro wrestling grew really big in the Carolinas because Crockett was there and all that, and that's one of the reasons we're here today with the podcast because you know a big wrestling fan got into business, and then Mike's also a wrestling fan himself, and here we are. We got a podcast.
Yeah. So we was off last week. Uh, did you do anything fun on that week that we didn't have the podcast going?
I well, the only thing. Let's see what I did. I went to the gym a few times. I worked, and then been planning on the project that we're going to expose very soon. Maybe even later today if I really want to. And just had a good week overall. I will say this week was we'll go back to last week so you can tell us about your adventures at the beach and with the family and all. But real quickly, I did this week on Tuesday was September 9th, and it happens to be my 25th wedding anniversary to my beautiful wife, Julia. And through the good times, bad times, and rough times, and beautiful times, and everything all in between, I couldn't ask for a better person and a woman to be married to, and it's just been great. And I do appreciate her more than anybody would ever imagine, and love her more than anybody ever knows. And so, even though I told her the other day, before our day got started, and I even went to social media and told her again, but happy anniversary. And I look forward to having a lifetime, many more years. Even though we've only hit 25, I can't wait to share many, many, many more. So yeah, that's my week this week. It's on a high note because of that.
Okay, sounds good. And then I don't know if you remember this, but we talked about it last year on September 9th. September 9th of this year was actually 3 years when I proposed to my wife at the beach.
That is correct. Yes, I
So
remember this now.
yeah, we didn't know about it till what like the following year, like after like, and we talked about it at work and everything. So like that was not planned. Like me and James was friends at the beginning, and I never planned on proposing to my wife at the beach on that day. Let's just say it was bad weather in the morning. I was going to do it when we go see the sunrise. It just happened to fall on September 9th. So, so I didn't mean to steal your little thunder for your anniversary, but I just thought I had to throw that out there a little bit.
I mean,
Uh,
that's a cool story that that a lot of people would not know. So I mean, it's cool to throw it out there. Um, so your week trip at the beach. I mean, you're going. I know y'all went to the beach for 7 or 8 days or whatever it was. Um, Other than the golf cart video that Mike put out on Facebook Live, he's driving this yellow golf cart. He can tell you more about it. But did anything else noteworthy for the podcast happen last week?
um, I was just during the week and everything when we go to the beach. I was sitting there watching the water and stuff, and I'd be on like my phone or something watching wrestling. Like even on vacation, like I was still watching wrestling on my phone. I was listening to the podcast. I was listening to like I listen to the podcast, see it's like how can we make it better and stuff. Like that's always like how can we make it better, you know? Then I listen to like other podcasts, like the Good Brothers, uh, Jeff Jarrett's. Just try to see like what I could do to help sound better and stuff. And it's always fun, like listening to like about wrestling, watching it, just sitting there relaxing. So I did that a lot. But the golf cart, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
We go. Uh, so it's a couple of families. We've rented out this beach house and everything, and so we split the money for the golf cart. So we come up and uh, we had to go pick up the golf cart. We pull in, and I just see the yellow one, and I'm thinking to myself, please let it be the yellow one. Please let it be the yellow. And it's like 20, 25 golf carts. And everybody that we was with, we do not want the yellow one. We do not want the yellow one. I was like, I want the yellow one. I want the yellow one. I'm thinking it's the best looking one out there. Well, then all of a sudden, like I'm watching the kids and everything up in the vehicles, and all of a sudden, I just see a couple heads go down, and then some of them start laughing. And I looked at the kids. I was like, "We got the yellow one." Then all of a sudden, they got up in the yellow one. We drove it and everything. So that's how that started. But then I took my wife out on a date on Friday. Uh, we we go out to eat, come back, and she goes, "Let's take the golf cart out." I was like, "Okay," and she goes, "Let's do a Facebook Live." And we've never done a Facebook Live together. I was like, "Okay, but you ain't gonna do it." She goes, "What? You don't think I will?" I was like, "No." All of a sudden, she pulls her phone up and it's on Facebook Live, puts me on the spot, and we just had that was a good time that we had. If y'all see it, like we was both laughing, having a good time. Then they always tell us you cannot get a golf cart up to 25 miles per hour. We go up on the road and we just start looking down. We hit 26. I'm getting all excited because I was like, the speed limit is 25. We broke the speed limit. We're doing 26. And then all of a sudden, when we was doing Facebook Live, she goes, "Oh, the road that we was on was 35." I was like, "Oh, now we're 9 under." So you saw my enjoyment just went straight down when she crushed my dreams of doing that. But yeah, you can see like we did have a lot of fun. Uh, it was beautiful weather. We went out to get on a boat ride and saw a bunch of dolphins. Uh, it was dolphins like miles around, getting close to the boat. Like if I really wanted to, I could probably reach out and touch one. That it was that close. But I know that I really did miss the podcast. And as soon as we came back, I was like, James, when are we gonna do one? When are we gonna do one? So now we're back and we're getting ready to do a podcast right now for y'all.
That's right. But I was happy to see Mike get away to the beach because I know how it is to get away with, especially your wife. I don't have kids, of course, but I know it's always great. and it was good for you to go out with the family. I'm happy to see that, and you guys had a good time. And that was Virginia Beach, guys. Mike probably said that, but I just want to make sure you knew. Um, and Virginia Beach, when I was in that area in Roanoke, that's the beach I'd go to every year. Um, so really nice beach. Carolinas have nice beaches. I just like a good beach. I don't care where it's at. We're back, like Mike said, and we're going to talk some wrestling because that's what the podcast is about. Before we get into any wrestling news, I do want to bring up some sad news on the wrestling front. Two individuals that's in the pro wrestling business. One that lives here, that lived here in the state of Florida. Jaka, great independent worker, worked for World Wrestling Network, Evolve, under the Evolve umbrella, FIP, several other countless indie groups here in the area. And he passed away earlier this week from a heart attack. He's 39 years old and really young, and it's a very sad situation. My condolences go to his wife, that everyone knows down here, and I hope the family gets lots of prayers and the support they need to get through such a bad situation, nonetheless, right? So prayers are with you guys from the podcast. We're with you, praying for the families. And one that really hits a little harder for me is because of the personalness that I had with this guy. Longtime indie wrestler from the Carolinas, longtime wrestling fan from the 70s and 80s in the Crockett era, and just someone that loved the business, loved his family, loved life, and kind of like when people talk about Bobby Eaton, they always said Bobby. And the thing about Bobby Eaton, I have never met anyone say a bad word about this guy. I mean, I could dislike the guy sitting in front of me right now. Let's say but yet we'd both like Bobby Eaton. You know what I'm saying? So the guy I'm talking about is Chuck Coates. Chuck was the same type of guy. I've never heard a bad word spoken about Chuck. People that I don't even like Chuck, and you know what I'm getting at. He's just a guy that everybody loves. He passed away Monday as well. I believe Chuck was 63 years old now. And all this stemmed from the weekend before last. He had a wrestling show, and Chuck was in the ring still. He was active from time to time. And he, from what I understand, I don't want to quote the story wrong. He kind of like got lightheaded in the match. They had to finish it early, shortness of breath real bad. And he, being Chuck, he doesn't think nothing about it. He ends up going to the doctor, finding out he had a heart attack. So, and he had to have a heart procedure done, and then it ended up not going the way they thought, and several other surgeries happened, and Chuck ultimately did not make it. And the wrestling world is mourning his death, and so I'm going to tell Chuck Coates story or two today, Mike, to bring up good memories of the type of person he was. And with that being said, I'm going back. Now this is I'll tell this story to start off with how I met Chuck. So in the early 90s, I was a big WCW fan, big Sting fan. The blonde hair, the bleach blonde gimmick, the face paint. I just loved everything about Sting at the time. So I was at a Nikita Koloff Fortress of Fitness gym grand opening in Concord, North Carolina, early December of 1990, and I'm 12 years old at the time. But I go into this thing because there's guys signing autographs. We're talking Nikita Koloff signing autographs. I think Ivan Koloff was there. Chuck was one of the guys signing. Another indie worker in the area, David Isley, was there. Tommy Angel. Nikita had Gene Ligon was there. Nikita had some guys there signing with him. And I got to meet Chuck, and Chuck just starts talking to me about wrestling because I had on this Sting jacket and all this and that. And he had his promo pictures with him, which were him and his face paint like Sting. He went by Mad Maxx, was Chuck's gimmick on the Indies. And I ended up getting an autograph photo, and I signed up for gym membership for Nikita's gym. And next thing I know, I go to start working out when the gym opens a few weeks later. Chuck actually works at the gym part time as he does his wrestling shows. I mean, he's going to WCW TV, doing enhancement work. He's doing indie shows, and he works at Nikita's. So I got to see him quite a bit there. We became really good friends. We talked wrestling all the time, and that's how we met. And we had a really good relationship. And Chuck took me to Starrcade 91. I got to go backstage. I met Larry Zbyszko, Vader, Bobby Eaton, Arn Anderson. I met Terry Taylor later on. He'd be my future boss in the business for the same company, WCW. This was 91, December 91, the Lethal Lottery one that I went to. Got to meet all these guys and go backstage at the Norfolk Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. And, for a 13-year-old kid at the time, that's a big, big deal. But, Chuck, I also got to hold Chuck's South Atlantic Tag Team title. He was one of the German Stormtroopers, held that title. Which we will talk about South Atlantic a little later in the episode for various other reasons. But just looking back at Chuck, he was a guy that everybody loved, and it's just one of the ones that hits you hard.
Yeah, it's sorry, it's always hard to lose somebody close, and y'all seem like y'all was close and everything, and the stories that like I hear and like how you talk about it, he does seem like he was a really good guy and like a good wrestler too.
Well, I will share one more Chuck Coates story real quick. So, I because of Chuck, I got to meet a lot of different people, and the Italian Stallion was one of them. George South was one of them, and they ran a group out of the Charlotte area, based out of there, called the Professional Wrestling Federation, not Dusty's PWF in Florida, but the North Carolina version in the early 90s. So through that, I got to meet them, and I ended up in the business. So fast forward, I broke in 93. Everybody knows that as a referee. Everybody also knows the stories of me getting in the business, actually working some matches, not full time, but working matches. And one story comes to mind. There was a event Stallion put on. It was outside in the church parking lot. I can't remember the church name, but it was in Concord, North Carolina. And Chuck just happens to come up because Chuck lived in Concord area at the time and was going to work this show for Stallion. Well, Chuck was telling me, hey, I'd like to have a match, work you at this event for Stallion. So I'm about 2 years in the business, maybe. This is like 95, I believe. It may have been less than that, maybe 94, maybe summer of 94. Yeah. So I hadn't been in the business. Shoot, I don't think I've even been in the business a whole year yet. But anyway, um, so Stallion was real reluctant. He's like, nah, nah, you know, the kid's still learning, you need to work somebody else, blah blah blah, And Chuck was just very much going on and on. He's like, no, he says it'll be fine. I'll work him and I'll lead it, blah blah blah, and so forth. So the next thing you know, instead of refereeing that evening, I didn't referee any of the matches on this card. Um, so I ended up just working Chuck. We opened up the first match of the night. Chuck is under the hood. He always did the Russian assassin gimmick on a lot of indie shows, and especially for Stallion. He was well known for that. And Chuck puts on the Russian assassin attire, and Stallion then put me in this American flag get up, and they send me out there, and we go out there, and there was probably 200, 250 people that were at this church function, maybe 300. It was pretty packed parking lot. And Chuck actually went out there and worked a match with me, gave me a couple hope spots. And, he finished it off with giving me the Russian sickle, which that's like a clothesline to the folks out there that don't know what that is, and finishes the match. And but that meant a lot to me because growing up, meeting Chuck and going to indie shows, going to WCW with him, and being this kid, and then finally make it in the business a few years later, and then I get the wrestling, and it was just something I always remembered, that one match, and he carried me by all means necessary. I needed it. I was still green. Hell, today, uh, in the last recent years, if even if I wanted to work a match, I'd have to have somebody like Chuck's talent to carry me because, I don't do it that often, but that's just a memory that sticks in my head, along with the other stories that I brought up earlier. I got many more, but, that's just a few that meant a lot to me.
So you said that you need somebody like his talent to carry you in a match.
Yeah.
So if we could find somebody with his talent, are you saying that you're coming out of retirement for one last?
So are you telling me, Mike, that you want to see the Wild Child in the ring again?
Not just me. I think the world needs to see the Wild Child one last time. In my opinion.
Okay. Well, Mike, never say never, but right now, no.
Well, if you do, I will volunteer to be the referee.
I'm sure you will. You want to make sure I don't make it out there the winner. Is that
Oh
correct?
no, I will definitely call it right down the middle, just for you, buddy. But
Okay.
but halfway through, if it looks like you're about to win, I will probably let the other guy start using weapons on you. But
Okay.
I will call it down the
I'll
middle.
keep I'll keep that in mind in case that day ever happens.
No, I would honestly call it down the middle. That way you can have a retiring match, and I could do something that I think I can be better than you at, and that's count to 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm just kidding.
I knew there was something behind it.
No, I think James needs to go into the Hall of Fame. I've been saying it on here for a while now, so we still got to try to push that. Who knows? Maybe we will get you into the Hall of Fame one of these days.
Who knows?
Ask the referee, or maybe the Wild Child. Maybe you need to come back to prove why you was Mister 454.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
474.
Well, I was trying to help you out to make it sound a little bit better.
Oh, okay. Well, Well, the truth
But
don't lie. So I mean, I got it documented. It's documented in the magazines. There's no way to get out of it.
okay, well, I try to help you. I try to be a crooked ref for you and everything, and I don't know. We're just gonna keep you out of the Hall of Fame.
Well, I appreciate that as well, Mike. Thank you.
Uh, all right, I'm sorry, buddy. But it was,
Are you?
yeah. I mean, while I was on vacation, relaxing at the beach with my hot American wife, we didn't really talk, so I couldn't really pick on you that much. So you got to make up for it.
So, um, like I was saying, I could go on days and days. Probably, I got lots of stories. But maybe we'll talk about it again on a future episode. Just bring up more road stories and stuff like that, and we'll bring up some Chuck Coach stories along the way, along with that episode. I think that's what we'll do: a road trip story, or um, just past wrestling stories episode, and that's what we're talking about the whole episode. Just different experiences, and we'll bring up a lot more of moments like that as well. So, um, so have you kept up with the pro wrestling world? I know you was on vacation last week. Have you kept up with the pro wrestling world at all? Um, you saw that AJ Lee's back. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, she's back.
What is your opinion on this storyline? Now, and like I said, it's an opinion because we all have opinions. Some things are facts in life, but I'm asking for an opinion right now. What is your opinion on AJ Lee coming back to do this storyline, kind of like a husband wife storyline against a husband and wife storyline? Do you think it's going to go well for the WWE? And do you think these characters that are involved in this can pull it off? That's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is, do you think AJ Lee will have any ring rust, or do you think she's been working on that leading up?
I think it will work. Did you see the massive pop that she got when she came back and everything? Like it was a really loud pop. And then when like she never, she, it don't look like she aged one bit. Uh, I think it'll work. I think it's positive for the company. Um, moving forward, they said people like wrestlers and talent that wasn't even supposed to be at the show, they flew in and was watching from the curtain area just so they could see her return to the company.
Gotcha.
So, so I mean, it sounds like no matter what, it's going to be a positive thing. Uh, like everybody was happy, even the people that's supposed to be like mad or upset with her coming back in the storyline. Seth Rollins, you could see him when he was up in the skybox or whatever. It looked like he was trying to hide the smile and everything because it looked like he was happy for AJ to come back after 10 years. So I think it's going to be uh, good for sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. Have they slated the actual um, paper? I guess it's called PLE now. The PLE for this match, the tag match, or no?
What's the WrestlePalooza? Is that what it's called?
That's this month.
That
Yes.
that's the one that they're going to do it at.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so it's the mixed tag, and I honestly like I don't know which way I want it to go. Like, like it's good to see like AJ come back. It's good uh to see how much ring rust she real will have. You see like little videos of her training with Punk for a return and stuff, which is cool. But it's nothing like getting into the ring and just doing it like nonstop without really like a break because you're back in there in front of a live crowd. So it depends on like how much ring rust you will have. But like I'm kind of torn because I like the heel of like Seth and Becky right now because I just like how they're more heels. Like I don't really like them more as a face. So it'd be kind of cool to see them win and kind of stop the momentum a little bit. But I also don't like CM Punk, so that's one reason why I want them to win. But when you make a big return like that, I kind of expect AJ and CM Punk to win.
Correct. And you're probably right. Unless they're trying to linger this storyline on a little bit longer, to the fact that AJ Lee will be around a little longer than just one match,
Yeah,
and
she's
maybe
gonna be around because she signed a multi-year deal with them. Full time gonna be on the Raw.
okay. Well, there you go. I think maybe the heels will go over in this one, and they linger this on, and the girls will have some single matches. And Becky is the current champion, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Maybe even see AJ Lee take a title back then.
Yeah, she's the women's IC champion. So, did you watch any of her return and stuff like that?
I saw the part where she came out, got the pop at the stage, and after that, that was it.
Okay, well, they got up into the ring and like I can't remember everything because being on vacation and just super busy when I came back and everything. But she actually came somehow she got Becky Lynch IC title and everything. And then on Monday when they came out to try to make the match official, AJ was actually wearing the belt to the ring and everything. So it's gonna happen like the one on one match. But I think after like 10 years, you gotta. It's smart by WWE doing the tag team match so
Yes.
she can knock off that ring rust and everything before you put her up in a main event match for a title and everything. So
Yeah. It's going to it's definitely going to be interesting to see where they take that. You know, I really don't have an opinion personally on myself how I want to see it go. Um, like I said, I keep up with wrestling just enough nowadays to know what's going on, but I don't watch it on a week to week basis. Um, I hate to use these terms because you either have bad wrestling or good wrestling through the years, is what I say. But I'm going to use the term today. I'm a little bit more of an older school guy, um, that likes the way wrestling was portrayed years prior. And I'm not just talking about the 70s or 80s. I mean, yes, they're my favorite, the 80s. But I broke in the early 90s. Wrestling was still had the same formula, and it should still have the same formula today with storylines, but they're a little bit more outrageous at times. Like I don't know. It's kind of like when you saw Becky slap Punk, and Punk just took it, and she did it again, and she did it like 3 or 4 times, right? Um, you look at that, it just it just did nothing for me. It was like, why? What are you proving here? Being a woman smacking this man in the face 4 times. What part of the storyline is this? How is this helping feed the storyline? Just to bring back the wife because your wife gets pissed off and now your wife's gonna beat her tail. I mean, I'll just be honest. I mean, That's what it took for AJ Lee to come back? Her husband getting smacked in the face? That's what it took? I don't know. It's kind of like maybe it's kind of like fighting for your husband's honor and he's being a gentleman. I'm not going to hit a woman type thing. I don't know. I just don't, and even Kevin Nash said this in his podcast. And I kind of agree with Kevin Nash. You look at that and you think of domestic abuse. It may not be, you know what I'm saying? You see where he's getting at there? Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I agree. Like I don't know. It's just so weird because, like, I can see why they did it. So to bring AJ back, like, you got to have a reason for her to come back, and maybe it is to like do the honor of her husband being like slapped around and pushed around by a female, and then Punk is trying to be a gentleman and not hit a woman, stuff like that. But then I agree with like Kevin Nash, like domestic violence and all that stuff is really no place for that. Uh, so they shouldn't really put it on TV where it's supposed to be a family show and everything. Like I can understand it, but times has changed. Domestic violence is like bad these days. Like you shouldn't be promoting stuff like that. But I never really liked seeing Punk. Like I didn't like him back. I didn't really like him back in the summer of Punk when he got the title left. I was like, well, good riddance. They could just get a new championship. Like, and then when he came back, I was like, man, he's back. But then when he finally got fired from WWE, I was like, thank goodness he's not coming back. He's even said he's not coming back. So I was like, I never really liked Punk. Uh, the only time that could say I like Punk was when he did that straight edge society thing because he had Luke Gallows with them at that time uh, in WWE. So when Gallows was paired up with them, that's the only time I could stand them because I like Gallows back then, back when he was doing Festus. Like, but when AJ or no, when Becky Lynch just kept smacking him, I was like, it's about time somebody did it and put him in his place. But but yeah,
Well,
like I don't think they should do like well they're doing like campaigns to like be a star and anti-bully, but now you're kind of like promoting domestic violence in a way, like Kevin Nash said. So
and you are familiar with what I'm talking about, right? Because he did say that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that one too.
Okay.
Uh,
Because I'm not making this stuff up, and I know that they're not the ones married to each other, you know, and it's not like the wife and husband were fighting, and he, she slaps her husband around, and it's embarrassing. Yes, they're two separate couples, but I think what he was trying to say, he compared it to that, as you're watching this television show and they're going making it look that route. Um, Another thing over the years, women like Baby Doll, she was known for uh she smacked Jimmy Cornette, and Jimmy Cornette would sell the devil out of a smack. And it was almost like Jimmy Cornette would get his butt beaten. And finally, when him and Baby Doll met in their tag team matches, like the Midnight Express and Cornette would team up against Baby Doll and Magnum and Dusty, she'd get her hands on him and she'd beat him up, punch him one big punch or something, and he'd go down and she'd pin him and the crowd would go wild, right? This is a totally different storyline. It isn't Jimmy Cornette was playing like a wimp and a woman beating. We're looking at, uh, because Becky used the term she was the man at one time. I know you remember that. She may still do it. I don't know. But she's this badass woman, and she comes out here and now she's smacking a grown man around. Um, it's kind of like, after a while, and it's happened before in pro wrestling, the guys have struck the women. At the point of one smack, I could see Punk being like, okay, whatever. And she let it go and she may ran her mouth. But if I remember correctly, it's like 3 or 4 good smacks. At that point, if you're really playing this angle good, human nature takes place, right? How mad is he? Is he ready to really smack her back himself? But he backs down, and then a week later, his wife comes back, and she's going to be the savior, and I'm going to beat your tail, and kind of like, you're disrespecting my husband, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of like, okay, now we got kind of like a domestic abuse here going on, and you got 2 couples fighting. It's like 2 sets of neighbors fighting over something stupid, right? I just don't buy it, and it really doesn't appeal to me, but that's me. And that, like I said, we're giving opinions here. We're not saying facts, we're giving opinions. And that's what's great about us, right? In this world, and especially United States of America, people. We can give our opinions. And I just think it's not. Why didn't AJ Lee just come back for some other reason? Maybe she missed the business. Maybe I won a title shot. Maybe I'm the real women's champion. But no, I'm coming back because you slapped my husband. You talk crap to my husband. Your husband's a piece of crap too. Blah, blah, blah is what I'm getting out of this. And is that fair assessment, or am I overthinking it?
No, I totally agree with you. It's I don't like. It should have been another way. Like, so how they're doing it, it does make sense. Like Becky slapping Punk, like you got to defend your husband's honor. Like it makes sense, but they really could have found a way to uh really bring her back. Uh, like you could have done it like at a Royal Rumble or something. Like make it like a big surprise. Like you was working up to this. Like people was talking about it like before it actually happened. That's why you had people flown in or people was coming back to the arena just to watch it. Like it was out there that she was coming back and everything. Uh, I think it's good, but I think I would have been more happy with like a really big surprise, but like, hey, I'm like you said, I was I think at the time was the Divas champion. Was their like world title for the women. So they could be like, hey, I was the last like the real Divas champion. I want to prove like I'm the world champion or something. Like they could have done something a little bit better than what they did.
Yes. So, and I welcome anybody that's listening to this podcast to send in your emails and your comments on this, what we're talking about, please. If you disagree with anything I said, tell me. Please refrain from using profanity in your emails, because what's going to happen is I'm probably going to go on a tirade and tell you how much of an idiot you are, and probably report your email. But
Okay, well, okay, he might do that, but I like for people to press buttons. Ask James, I love pressing buttons. Send in the email any way you want. We will word it without the profanity if we have to. We will get your emails on the podcast.
and Mike knows that, because Mike's pushed my buttons a few times. I will be candid on the situation. So go ahead, send your comments in, even if they're negative towards me. Do it.
So, one way to press this button, just saying that The Rock was the WCW World Champion at one time.
The Rock was, now listen, The Rock was a corporate systematically world champion from the WWF at the time. He is not a WCW world champion. The title was in WWF's hands, and WCW was dead and gone. It was a storyline, not a real company. It doesn't hold up. It has no hold up.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. I meant to say Kurt Angle was the WCW champion.
Once again, I love Kurt Angle, but he's not the WCW. He's never been a WCW world champion. If it was under Vince McMahon, or at the time, they're sold to TKO now, but at the time it's Titan Sports. If it was under that banner and owned by that company, it's not a WCW title because it was a storyline. It was not a real promotion. Sorry. End of story.
Okay, so I just proved I love President's Buttons. It just shows, like when he's on his little rant about it, it just shows the passion that he has for wrestling, WCW, and everything. And that's what this podcast needs, his passion. So push his buttons, get underneath the skin, get these real questions and comments out to him.
Yeah. And don't ever get me back on the subject of high ticket prices for fans. That just burns me up too. But you know what? If you're listening and you pay these high prices to set front row, second row, whatever, and you feel that it's warranted and you can afford it, go right ahead. But I think that what really pissed me off, excuse my language, what really made me mad was when they went out and said, "Hey, by the way, these prices will change eventually once we get our debt in check." Okay, really? Is that what a business does? You're going to sit there and tell me the reason you hiked your prices up 300% is because you want to get out of debt. But afterwards, guys, there's a silver lining for all of you. We're going to go back to lower rates. That just burns me up right there. As a being a company, why would you even admit it? Just have high prices and leave it alone. What made me want to bring it up on the podcast last time, and we're talking about it again, obviously, was the fact that they came out as a company and admitted this. I just didn't see it. I don't buy it. Why would you do that as a company? It just makes no sense to me. I think it's a bad strategically business move, and I would have not have done it. I would have just charged you high prices and not even have mentioned it. I just don't get it. It just, I admit to that. But there's even more story to that this week, Mike.
Well,
Uh,
talk about high ticket prices. I know which way you're going, but did you see the ticket prices for Madison Square Garden for November 17th?
no, but I'd like for you to share it with us today.
The Ringsider package price before fees $2,958.25.
Oh.
That is the Ringsider package. I don't understand. It's a Monday night Raw for $3,000 for tickets, but then the platinum seats are a little over 1,100. The regular ringside floor seats is priced at $815.25.
Mhm.
Seats in the back floor sections are listed as right under $400, $398.30. 100 level seats are listed at $372.20. But like the cheapest seats is 400 level seats are at $193.25.
So you're telling me the nosebleeds are 400 and some dollars a seat. Am I right?
I think so, but it is the most famous arena in the world, so you got to pay the price.
Whew, Mike. I just find this appalling, and you know, I know it's a big business, big money, big everything nowadays. But your backbone of any business, regardless if it's in the sports entertainment world, such as the wrestling world, UFC, football, baseball, basketball. You know what I'm getting at here. Versus if it's a retail establishment, if you keep hiking your prices up, people are going to eventually, one, they can't afford it, or two, they're going to be like, why am I spending my yearly vacation money to go to one show or whatever, right? It just makes no sense to me why sports entertainment of any kind. I mean, there's football game tickets, Mike, to the NFL that down setting in the lower level don't even reach $2,000. I mean, Super Bowl, yeah, it's outlandish, but we're talking about a regular Monday Night Raw now. I mean, come on. It's a regular Monday show. You're going to film it, put it on Netflix, and it's nothing spectacular. It's not WrestleMania.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't agree with it. I think it's horrible. I think it's horrendous. I think it's one of the worst things you could do to your fan base is say, hey, here's a $3,000 ticket. Come on down to the Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world. It's only $3,000. Come on, that's chump change for all our fans. What a joke.
I mean, now starting what 2026 when everything goes really to Netflix and uh what's the other one that they switch from Peacock to uh what are you gonna be watching the pay-per-view ESPN, watching it on that and everything for like the year. As a picture, I think I sent it to you. It's close to $1,200 just to watch it on TV, like to get like all the subscriptions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
crazy.
don't know. I don't understand how they could say, "Oh, we're in debt," but you're getting all this money. But sooner or later, I have a feeling the attendance is going to start going way down because you you could probably afford it for a little while, but you're not going to be able to afford it. Like I'm thinking about taking out a loan just to watch it on TV now. So, so
I'm just curious. Is these prices just what show up and you see this and they're a lot less overall and people getting deals or are people really paying these high prices?
I don't know, but I know when Vince McMahon was in charge, we did have the $9.99 WWE Network. Where are those days at now? So everybody thought like Vince was like a bad guy and everything, but he was giving us deals on watching wrestling, had tickets for family, like for like the whole show, like everybody just come out to the shows and stuff. You can't do that now. You got if pretty much if you got the money, you're going by yourself.
Well, the days of a family of five or six going to a wrestling show are probably almost over. I mean, if they ain't already over, there's no way. Like I remember going to, and I know it's a long time ago, but I'm using a point here. I remember going as growing up, going to the Roanoke Civic Center and the Greensboro Coliseum and stuff like that, and the Charlotte Coliseum as a family, and it'd be five of us going all the time. We had ringside seats, everything. But you know, times have changed. Yes, business is a lot bigger globally. Yes, but does it warrant to have these type of prices for families that enjoy entertainment, maybe want to go out for the evening? Because by the time they buy their seats at these high rates, they buy that concession stand price that the arenas are charging. they're paying $30, $40 to park their vehicle at these arenas because that's what it is now. I mean, come on. And some of them, if they're coming from out of town, they even have to get a hotel stay. Dude, it's just outlandish. It's crazy. And we shouldn't be having a conversation about how ticket prices for these events have went skyrocketed so bad that a lot of families that go to pro wrestling are from the inner cities. A lot of these kids love pro wrestling, but their parents can't afford to take them to pro wrestling. So my best advice to all of you out there that love pro wrestling, that want to take your family to a family event, is start looking up in your area the independent promotions, the ones that run the armories, the community centers, the ones that are down at the ball field, the ones that are at the high schools, the middle schools. Hell, they may be at an elementary school in your town. Go to their events. Pay your $10 to $15 is what average independent ticket prices are. Occasionally, they may be $20. But look, think about this. Ringside seats, $10 to $20. And you're seeing great wrestling action. And sometimes it's so intimate and so fun to be there because you're so up close. You get to meet them. You get the autographs. You get the T-shirts. You get to shake their hand. You get to talk to them. Get to know more about them. Next thing you know, you're a lifelong fan. You come back when they come back again. I'm telling you, experience just some independent pro wrestling. You may even stop worrying about what comes on Monday night, what comes on Friday night. You may just have a good time. So that's my advice. And Mike, while we're on what is good and a great time, go to where? That is American, cowboyrevolution.com. Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company. When you check out, guys, after getting you a hoodie, because it is fall, maybe not here in Florida, but it's getting fall in Virginia. I know it's getting a little cooler, Mike. They need to go get them some hoodies, a sweatshirt, maybe some hats. Cover that head up in the winter. Stay warm. At checkout, use the code JamieT123. Save that 15% today.
And it does support the veterans. It just shows that you are a real American brother. Uh,
That's right, brother.
but no, it's a really good company. They do got a lot of good stuff. James got a hat and everything. I just ordered a hat, so I should be getting it in soon. Um, but yeah, it supports the veterans and everything.
So, another thing, Mike. Um, so being that we're talking about pro wrestling, we moved on to indie wrestling just now because I just did that for us. You're welcome, by the way. You talked once before, about up in your area. It was my area when I lived there, but not no more. You have one group that comes to Roanoke occasionally, does Rocky Mount, does the Vinton,
Montville.
does
Yeah,
Montville,
they're
yes,
actually
does
coming.
Covington,
Yeah, they coming
yeah.
back to Montville September 20th. So next Saturday.
And that's a show I'm talking about right there. Their tickets are $15. I believe that's what they go for at their events. It's a great independent show. It is in a small community center type building in Montville, and you get up close and personal. Sure, it's not going to be your. I'm trying to think of a name real quick. I just had a biggest brain fart there ever could be. Let's use CM Punk, for example. CM Punk's not going to be there. Okay. The Rock's not going to be there. AJ Styles ain't going to be there. And Mike's favorite tag team probably is not going to be there. The Good
But they
Brothers.
could be. You never know who
You
pops
never
up
know.
at these places.
That's true. But what will be there, I can guarantee you this, is a lot of talented individuals that have the heart and desire They're not making the big bucks as the boys on TV, but they have the passion and they want to give the fans a good time. And just do yourself the honors, people. Not just there. It could be a show in Hoboken, New Jersey. It could be a show up in northern New York. It could be a show in Maine. It could be a show in North Carolina. It could be a show right around the corner here in Florida. Just get out there and give yourself a shot at seeing something different, because pro wrestling's not just what you see on TV. It's a lot of different other colors and shades, and it's a lot of fun. Trust me. I did the indies for years. I've ran my own shows in the past on the indies. I worked for WCW. I worked for TNA. I was contracted by the WWE, and I was sent to developmental. I've done a lot, but I can guarantee you this. The backbone of pro wrestling is truly your independence. Because if you don't have that start, these guys don't have the start, they can't make it to what you're watching now. And being that they're so much more affordable, I mean, you're doing yourself a great deal of justice here. One, you're not spending all that money. And two, you're saving the money. And two, you're going to go out and you're going to have a good time. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Pro wrestling in the indies has more of that grassroots feel to it, more of that gritty feel, more of that real emotion feel. It isn't glitzy. It isn't glamorous like on TV. It doesn't have all the pyro, doesn't have the staging. But you know what it does got? It has a really damn good time. So,
And the passion from the uh, wrestlers, you could just see it more because they're just having fun. They're doing what they enjoy. Then you see the passion from the fans. You see the passion from like the little kids. As soon as they see like a move or a wrestler that they like, just see the emotion from like the kids. And that'll just keep drawing you back to the crowds just to see all the passion.
and I'm going to speak on pro wrestling from when I was watching it as a child. I grew up on the NWA, which is Jim Crockett Promotions in the Mid Atlantic region, Virginia, Carolinas, Georgia. All that great wrestling came from that region that I grew up on. And I didn't discover my first independent wrestling show until like 1990 was my first independent wrestling show. And then I discovered a promotion in 1990 as well that was supposed to come back and counteract the NWA that left the Charlotte region. And it ultimately was supposed to be like the new Mid-Atlantic type deal, right? So their name was the North American Wrestling Association. And they kind of was going to run under also the name of South Atlantic Pro Wrestling and have like a Mid-Atlantic NWA type feel. The original people starting this ended up selling it and letting it go. And then Paul Jones and Frank Dusek ultimately changed the name 100% to South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. And South Atlantic Pro Wrestling was a part of my childhood, being 12 and 13 years old at the time, 14 as well, because it lasted 2 years from 1990. It was like February 1990 to August of 1992, so a little over 2 years. And it changed a few different many people booking it and promoting it throughout that couple years, 3 or 4 different people. But it was such a big deal to me. Seeing the Tatanka, Chris Chavis, seeing Vince Torelli, which is Ken Shamrock to everybody else. The Nasty Boys were there. Paul Jones got in the ring again. Robert Fuller, the Tennessee Stud. Some people might know me as Colonel Parker. They had just an array of talent here that was unmatched. The Pit Bulldogs, Ranger Ross. I'm just trying to get names out of my head. Wyatt McDaniel, Manny Fernandez, so many great talents. Ivan Koloff, and I'll probably think of more later. But my point is, they came back, try to counteract what the NWA used to be, what Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling used to be. It didn't really go off in a hitch, because I'll tell you why. What soured on this, and I'm getting to a point here in a minute, but what soured on this was the people of the, especially Charlotte and the Carolinas and Virginia and all them different areas loved Jim Crockett Promotions. And when that left, it left a void, but it also left a lot of angry people. People that may have not kept watching the new NWA that Ted Turner took over, that later became WCW, of course. But so nobody could get behind this the way they thought they should have. And pro wrestling was on a lower slump at this point. Going into the mid 90s, pro wrestling was on a little slump before the Monday Night Wars came, of course. So between the slump happening, Jim Crockett Promotions going out of business, that whole region was just wiped out. And it was just bad timing. But South Atlantic to me was a big deal. It was like the new territory in the area. And so being that it's a big deal, Mike, and I was a big fan, I even joined their fan club and had the fan club card. But you also got $1 off each ticket that you came to every live event later on. So it was $10 to join. You got your T-shirt, but every event you came to, you saved $1 off each ticket if you were a fan club member. So they'd run all around the Charlotte region. I went to countless shows. My dad took me countless times to many of towns that South Atlantic are in. And I still got my Polaroid pictures with Vince Torelli. Yes, I said Polaroid. That's how outdated this is. I still got my Polaroid pictures with Chris Chavis, Paul Jones, Frank Dusick, all of them. And so, being that South Atlantic meant a lot to me, I'm going to let the cat out of the hat today. I, Jamie Tucker, is on a mission to bring back South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. So, with all this independent wrestling talk, smaller promotions, right? That's exactly what my South Atlantic is. It's not a competitor to the WWE. I don't want to be a WWE competitor. I don't want to be an AEW competitor. I don't want to be a TNA competitor. I could care less what any of them do, what any of them make financially. But what I do care about is bringing great pro wrestling with that to it that makes you just go, man, that emotion just came out of me. I don't know what's going on type of feeling. That type of pro wrestling I want to bring back. I want to bring back to the smaller towns, to the smaller venues. I want to have pro wrestling the way it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be in just big stadiums. Pro wrestling wasn't supposed to be in big arenas. Yeah, you're there, but pro wrestling is also supposed to go to the high schools and the smaller towns. It's supposed to go to the community center over here. It's supposed to go to the small town and help out the police force, raise money for something. It's supposed to go down to the ball field in the summertime. A few hundred people come out at the small town function, watch a good night of pro wrestling, go home and said, you know what? I believe I'll go back again. That's the type of pro wrestling I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the glitzy, glamoury TV. I'm talking about pro wrestling that hits you right in the gut. Makes you want to believe. Makes you want everything you see, you believe it. Not, I can't believe that just happened. What am I watching? Not that type of pro wrestling. I'm not talking about sports entertainment pro wrestling. I'm talking about pro wrestling. So South Atlantic Pro Wrestling is your wrestling league. It's coming back, and it's coming back to small towns. It may be based here out of Florida at the moment, but South Atlantic will make its way back to the Mid-Atlantic region. And South Atlantic is going to bring wrestling back to the smaller towns, smaller arenas. So if anybody's listening out there, it's got any connection to your high school, your community center in your area that's in the surrounding Florida area, I will say that first off, in the Tampa Bay area. If you're also, I will say this, if you're in the Carolina region, you're in North Carolina and you'd like a pro wrestling show come back to North Carolina, where South Atlantic formed in Charlotte, North Carolina, let me know. You want to raise money for your function? Hell, if you got a yard sale for your community center, instead of having that big yard sale to raise that money, how about bringing in pro wrestling? One of the biggest pastimes and fun that people's used over the years. Bring us in. Let South Atlantic raise the money for you. Let us help you. Let South Atlantic help your high school, your boosters clubs. Don't have no more bake sales, cake sales, all that garbage. Bring in pro wrestling. Bring in South Atlantic pro wrestling. So as we start here in the Tampa Bay area once again, a new home. It's not Charlotte. It's not North Carolina. But it's South Atlantic. And we're back.
Wow, that is some big news. Uh, I know you said Florida, maybe North and South Carolina. What about Virginia? Are you going to come back to Virginia too? Or is that maybe?
Well, here's the thing. We're starting here in Tampa Bay area, and of course you knew this for a couple weeks now, maybe even longer than that, maybe about a month now. You've known this probably that I put the full wheels in motion, and it's funny what things will do to you, man. You sit around and you have extra time on your hands for a little while, and you go, you know what's missing? It's not this or that over there. I tell you what's missing. It's not being able to show your love for something that you put all that time in. And I sit there and I go, you know what pro wrestling needs? Pro wrestling needs pro wrestling. Because pro wrestling, it's so many indies out there that are trying to. I'm telling people, go out and see your independent shows. But I will tell you this. A lot of them want to be WWE. You can't be WWE and run the community center. You can't be a WWE type show and run the Armory. You got to be pro wrestling, because pro wrestling is what we offer. It's in our name. Did you hear me say anything about entertainment in our name? No. It's South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. It's on the marquee, and that's what you get. You get great professional wrestling from bell to bell. And yes, I said it starts here in Florida again instead of the Carolinas. But I'm open to bringing South Atlantic back into the Mid-Atlantic region. That's why, and I know Mike's going to be on this crusade to make it happen as well. So like we're saying, send your emails in to South Atlantic Pro Wrestling at gmail.com. I'm telling you right now, send your emails in. If you're affiliated with any type of organization that needs to raise money for your community, let us know. We're in the Tampa Bay area, so if you want to keep it regional, go right ahead. But if there's something in the Carolinas that you think South Atlantic can help you raise at this moment, let's do it. Future line down the road, we'll look into Virginia and South Carolina. Right now, my main point will be Florida, Tampa Bay region, and the Charlotte region, because South Atlantic was originated from there. So that's what the main cause is at the moment. So let us know if you want us in our town. We'll get there.
All right, sounds good. So independent wrestling is just getting better and stronger with that one announcement right there. So it sounds like it's going to be a big, really good and powerful thing for having another company uh, in this. And but like you said, go support your independent wrestling and support South Atlantic Pro Wrestling because, like you said, it was a lot of good people. It was right at the verge of like me being born, 1990 to 1992. Uh, but like you said, they had a lot of good wrestlers. Uh, Tommy Angel, Ricky Steamboat up in the 90s, Jay Eagle, uh, and the list goes on and on. Paul Jones, the Stormtrooper. Uh, so yeah, it's a lot of good people uh, that wrestled there, and in the future, uh, it's going to be a whole lot more new wrestlers, great wrestlers. So can't wait to see where South Atlantic Pro Wrestling goes from here.
Yeah, like I said, Mike, I know that was the when I started talking about it, I know I was long winded, but I had to put the point across to people that we're bringing pro wrestling back to these communities that the WWE will not go to, that AEW will not even go to. You know what I'm saying? They will not go to these smaller towns. So instead of alienating you, we're coming to your small towns. We're giving you pro wrestling down at your little community building that may only hold a couple hundred people. We'll bring it to the high schools that may only hold 1,500, 2,000 people at the most. We're not talking about big major arenas here. We're talking about great quality entertainment at family prices, people. You're not going to get overpriced at our events. We're not going to take everything out of your paycheck for the week just to take your kids out for a good night out. And we are bringing back, now listen to this, Mike. We are bringing back, and it's at the same price as in 1990 when they brought it out, the South Atlantic Pro Wrestling Fan Club for $10, people. And we're bringing you more information in the weeks to come when the t-shirts and everything are available. For $10, you'll get a t-shirt, your fan club card, and you show that at every South Atlantic Pro Wrestling event, and you'll get $1 off each admission ticket. So this say you come in with that card, and let's just use an example here. We have a show in Tampa on a Friday night. You get $1 off your ticket. You come into a show on Saturday night over in Lakeland, you get $1 off your ticket again. It's at every event that you come to as a fan, you'll get $1 off admission. You can't beat that for $10, and you get a T-shirt. So you're basically paying for a T-shirt, and then you get $1 off every event. I mean, there's no way to beat that deal.
No, it's always good to save money, but it's also good to that you're bringing something back from the past. Because I talk to a lot of people, like people that I just met. Like I met somebody today. We was talking about it's a lot of good stuff from the past that we don't do now and stuff. And but doing the fan club and you get a shirt, then you get $1 off on your admission price. I mean, it's you're really bringing back the old school wrestling format, and it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. You've seen it already, Mike. The championship belt is here. The South Atlantic Heavyweight title is ready to go. And let me throw this out there. The date will be announced soon. The location will be announced soon. Oh man, it's so exciting. From the South Atlantic region, the top 8 competitors that are not signed or affiliated with the WWE, AEW, TNA, you get what I'm getting at. All non-talented, all non-contracted talent. Let me get that out right. We're picking 8 guys. 8 guys will come in a tournament, a one night tournament, to crown the first, well, not the first ever, but on the new era champion, we'll call it, for South Atlantic Pro Wrestling here in 2025. The top 8 competitors in the South Atlantic region are coming to do this, and we're going to announce the date, the location, the time, and the family fun event, family ticket prices. I'm just so excited on what I'm saying at this point. I'm telling you, that good old wrestling, like I said earlier, hits you in the gut. The good wrestling that makes you go, man, I believe in that. The good wrestling your grandparents, your parents, and everybody loved. That's what we're bringing back. Pro wrestling's on the marquee, and pro wrestling's what you get. So be ready for that announcement for that tournament. That belt is beautiful, and I can't wait to show it off and have that one night tournament. And we'll announce the names and everything before this happens, and when tickets go on sale and all that good stuff.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm not under contract with nobody right now. Does that mean I can get a spot?
Well, Mike, I mean, never say never. It is pro wrestling, right?
Yeah, never say never, but I'm probably gonna say it's probably never gonna happen. Uh, but I mean, you never say never, right?
That's right.
Uh, maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll have a card on the show that I might just have to team up with the Wild Child.
That would be
I
one
mean,
heck of a tag team right there, buddy.
I think it'd be a good tag team. Uh, if we do that, can we bring in the Good Brothers and work them?
Sure, why not?
Yes. I'm just gonna say they're gonna probably pin you because to. I don't want them to take the L, but I don't want to get pinned. So you're probably gonna take.
Well, let me also tell you this. It'll probably be a short match. So,
No, 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 no.
what
I'm
was
gonna go in and break the count every single time so they could just keep putting you in different moves.
well, that's not fair, Mike. They're just going to pummel me and I won't be able to move.
It's probably gonna turn into a 3-on-1 handicap match, and then I become the third good brother. Too,
I knew there was a silver lining for you at the end.
just too sweet on that one, brother.
That's right.
But so it's a question that's been going around nonstop for ever since I went to the beach. And I heard it
Okay.
again yesterday, and I want your honest opinion.
Sure.
Pancakes or waffles?
Oh my God. Well, I like both, but I'll probably go with pancakes.
Oh yeah, you're weird. I go with waffles every time. Uh, okay, so why pancake?
If the pancake is made right, it's fluffy on the inside, and it's got that the outside that I don't know how to explain it, but and then you put that butter on every layer, and then you put the syrup on it. If it's made right, you can't go wrong with a pancake.
But you can't mess up a waffle. It's a waffle. Well, okay, so the
Yeah.
argument somebody did because the waffle gets soggier first. And I don't know if that's true because the outs like the little squares like on the top and everything, they're kind of crunchy. So I don't see the sogginess on that part. But I just think you get a little bit of a crunch from a waffle, but then like the inside's just nice and fluffy. And it's a square. Who doesn't like anything square? So I think waffle.
Well, a wrestling ring is called the squared circle, so it's one of our favorite things.
Yeah, so it depends. Like a square circle. Do you like a square waffle or do you like a round pancake? So
I still pick pancake, buddy.
see, everything is a square. The circle goes into the square. So you got a waffle, then the pancake can go in the center of that if you want to describe it that way. But then like a square circle for like a wrestling ring, it's mostly a square like a waffle. But then when you order a pizza, it's a circle in a square box. So squares are better than circles, so waffles are better than pancakes.
Okay. We'll leave it on that note, I guess. I have
I,
nothing to come back with.
I mean,
Hmm.
it kind of makes sense, so we're just gonna go with that. But no, like I said, I heard that question when I was going to the beach when I had my earbud on and uh, different stuff at the beach, and then I heard it. I think yesterday again, like up in a little video that I was watching. So had to ask like what you think is best, even though that you're wrong. At least everybody knows that you're wrong now. So
Well, I'm good. I'm glad that you see it that way, and I hope everybody else does too.
yeah, I mean, it's just another win for me.
Wow. Well, so do we have any other news to talk about before we leave this wonderful, wonderful podcast?
Uh, well, one thing we were talking about uh Monday Night Raw and everything, and I know I sent you the video,
Yeah.
but what did you think? Not AJ Lee, but AJ Styles cutting that promo. Apparently, it was during the commercial break. Do you remember seeing that one?
I heard about it. I did not see it yet.
Uh, all right, I thought I sent it to you. I'll try to send it to you later if I see it again. But pretty much it was AJ. They everybody says like he was going off script, and he did it during the commercial break, so you don't really see it, but it's on Netflix and you can see everything on Netflix. I think so. I don't know. But he said like he got nobody to watch his back, and he name drops Gallows and Anderson on
Okay.
TV. Uh, like I don't know where this storyline is going, if it is a storyline or if he's just frustrating, like frustrated with how when you're phenomenal like he is and everything, you got him losing a lot of matches. You got him losing like a lot of big matches too, not just like random matches, but it's like be big matches, matches that don't really mean a whole lot, like everything. Uh, but name dropping Gallows and Anderson, like are they working with the company that is like Gallows and Anderson is with, and they're gonna bring them back to maybe help him up in like a storyline thing, or I pay attention to like the little details if I can, or do you think it could be when he did his Lone Wolf storyline in TNA because his shirt he had it like he was in TNA where like the P1 was kind of it looked like it had like lines like the paint dripping like off like the P1 and everything, and he wore that style shirt when he was doing that at TNA. So are they trying to do a like a lone wolf type thing where he goes kind of he pretty much says he's on his own and stuff, and then he
Right.
starts winning matches again because he was that lone wolf thing that he did in TNA was really good, but it was kind of cut short
Yes.
in my opinion. But I don't know if they're going to try to go that route or or who knows? They working with a lot of different companies. Like, are they going to try to bring back and have like the OC and or whatever back again? You know?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, it could be a thing where they're maybe AJ, being that it was during the commercial break, AJ just wanted to give, so to speak, his guys a shout out, or who knows, maybe there's more to it coming down the road. I would like to see them back. I've always enjoyed their work. Always thought they were top talent. Um, I've never met Carl Anderson, but I've met Gallows and talked to him a few times. Great guy, super nice. I can't say nothing bad about him. And me and you both agree the Fest uncle, was it what was his name that one time?
Festus, biscuits and
Festa.
gravy.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was a fun gimmick.
yeah. That was a fun one. Then he did like the Straight Edge Society with Punk. Uh, then he was at TNA with the Aces and Eights, and that I believe was the first time I really saw AJ and Gallows together.
Okay.
Because Gallows was in the group already, and then about halfway through their run, uh, they tried to get AJ to join and everything, and AJ hit uh, Gallows in the head with the hammer and everything on TV. Then they become best friends, like on camera in WWE and stuff. So yeah, it's. I wish they would come back. Like he even name drop Meechin, Mia Yim. Is that her
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
And she's on SmackDown. And she tweeted after that, she goes, "I always got your back, Uncle Alan," because he's older, so they always call him Uncle Alan or something.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know. It's kind of weird, like how he did it, but then uh, like I think Gallows, one of the Gallows or Anderson, I think it was Gallows said that they was joking, said being name drop on TV, we should get like royalties and stuff. And, and then Michi said that she's always got his back and everything. So like I don't know like how it's gonna go, but either way, I'm hoping is AJ gonna start winning more matches because he really deserves it because he really is a phenomenal wrestler in the ring.
Oh yeah. I mean, AJ is, a modern day wrestling within the last 20 years. AJ Styles is in your definitely got to be in anybody's top five. If he's not, something's wrong. Um, that's also my opinion, people. But I've always enjoyed AJ. He was a good guy. I refereed his first match back in '98 down in little old town of Cornelia, Georgia. Worked with him in '99 when Wildside opened up, and of course later that year I went to WCW and all that. And AJ, at the end of WCW, AJ, and we may have never talked about this on the podcast before. AJ had actually worked a local guy out of Georgia that worked for Burt and Bill Behrens both. Air Paris. They had a tryout match against each other in Baltimore, Maryland, at a Nitro right before it. It was the dark match, and I refereed that, which is really cool to me because I worked with both of them through their younger years. And then they got hired from that match, and they put them together as Air Raid. I don't know if you remember that the latter months of WCW. And they probably were around the last 2 months of WCW, and then of course we know what happened, and yeah, so AJ actually was going to be a WCW superstar there as well, but we all saw how the company went out, and when the WWF at the time bought it, not everybody got contracts and deals and all that, and if they did, developmental pay. I believe it's went up a lot now. for the NXT people, but back in the day, developmental pay was you know was kind of lower end type of money for the pro wrestling business on that level. But yeah, so AJ's I mean, you could call him phenomenal, I guess. Think he's a great human being, down to the core. Before we can even talk a wrestler, so I'm glad to see he's still around and still getting in the storylines and all that. So that's great for him.
Yeah. Before we leave, what do you think about giving us a couple weeks? But we just did a WCW top 10. Maybe since we're talking about AJ and stuff, and you had time at TNA, maybe we can do a top 10 TNA world champion.
I would be cool with that. Now, when we do this, are we doing from a certain era? Or are we going through the long haul from 2002 to now?
Oh, we're doing it all.
Okay.
I want, because they had some, you got to think back in the day, I mean, Ken Shamrock was the first one. Then you had R Truth. So, I mean, they got good ones in there, like early. So, I don't want just like the new ones where you're going to say, what, Josh Alexander. Like, he's good, but does he make the top 10 for me? Uh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't. But if we go back from the beginning till then, I'm sure we got some really great top 10 people to put in there.
Oh yeah. We can do that. Let's do that. Let's plan it for 2 or 3 shows out to make sure we get all our thinking caps on and our information together.
So, what do you think? The first week in October.
Let's do it. The first week in October, we'll do the top 10 in our opinions. I will say that before anybody gets their panties in a wad out there listening. In our opinion, this is going to be the TNA top 10 world champions of all time.
And the only thing that sucks, Russo was never a TNA champion, so I can't put him in it.
Or David Arquette.
Yeah. So the list ain't gonna be as good as the WCW one, but I'm sure I can pull out a few names.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. You always bring it when it comes to these top tens. You always throw a monkey wrench in there on me.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll put the current TNA World Champion as number one, Trick Williams.
Ah, okay.
I mean, is it gonna happen? Yes. No. But the only thing I'll know is y'all will find out on the first episode of the podcast in October.
There you go. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that one.
So, uh, I know I said this before, but one last thing before we get off. I want to say happy birthday to my hot American wife. I'm not going to be dumb and try to say how old she is because I want to live the next day. So I'm not going to say how old she is, but
That's probably
but
smart.
really, but seriously, happy birthday to my hot American wife, and I hope she has a really good day and everything.
Well, there you go. Happy birthday, Sherry. And I'm sure she'll have a good day because she's married to uh, the golden one.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to get her something, but she's already got me. What else does she need?
I
So,
agree. I don't know
so
where else you can get it.
maybe I'll just get her a picture of me or something.
Let's see how that
Uh,
goes over.
so, but seriously, happy birthday, and I will uh, try to spend time with her, maybe take her out to eat. I think we're going to go to Kabuki. You know where that is. Think we're going to go there this Saturday to
Nice.
celebrate us. So
Sounds fun.
it will be. So, all right. You
Well,
got anything else, buddy?
yes, but we'll talk about this next time on the podcast. The
Uh
next
oh.
one, we'll bring this up. Just remember it. So I'm going through my YouTube like I normally do, right? Looking for videos and stuff to watch. And it says Kevin Nash thinks Becky Lynch is cringe. And it's part of his podcast. Click this. And it was posted 21 hours ago, Mike. So we both got to go watch this when we get off of here.
Okay. I will do that, and then we can uh talk about it on the next episode.
And we can either say we agree with Kevin Nash or disagree, because I don't agree with everybody. I agree with some things Jim Cornette has said, and then I disagree with a lot of things Jim Cornette has said, because we're not always going to agree. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to that as well. So next week we'll hit that topic, guys. Hopefully next week we'll have the tournament date, location, ticket prices, where you can get tickets at online, where you can get tickets at, whether it's in the town it's in, where you can pick them up at. Also, start naming the competitors leading into it for South Atlantic Pro Wrestling's reboot in 2025. And I'm all excited about that. It's Sherry's birthday, Mike's wife's birthday. Happy birthday again. It's going to be a great week, great day. We'll see you next week. But one more thing before we go. If you're, like I said, a local agency or anybody in the community that wants to raise money, hit up South Atlantic Pro Wrestling at gmail.com. That's spelled out the whole name, South Atlantic Pro Wrestling at gmail.com. Or if you want to send us, if you're an independent wrestler and you got video footage and promo pictures and information about your career, send it to that email address as well. We'll take a look at it. And another thing, if you got questions for the podcast or comments that we've made that you dislike, send in your comments to us. WrestleRef123 at gmail.com. Getting long-winded again, but do all that, guys, and go to cowboyrevolution.com. Check out all their merch. Buy something in the checkout. Put in Jamie T123 for 15% off. I'm done. I'm out. What about you?
One more thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm ready to go too, buddy.
All right, we're out, guys.
All right,
We'll
bye,
see
everybody.
you next time. Peace out.
I think that was really good.
That's a long one too. It's the longest one